Hey, cousins. You listening to this, you probably like, it's Thursday. Yes, I want to give y'all something to chew on until the extravaganza that is Friday and Saturday. Okay? And then the fallout, and then the whoop, the whoop, the whoop, the whoop. You understand? So let's go ahead and get into this conversation. I was over on Reddit because I be dipping and dabbing and seeing what the girls is talking about when they not gooning all the way out and being nasty over Rhea Ripley and all that other shit. They're actually having decent conversation. One of the conversations is TKO ruining the WWE. Now, I've kind of touched on this when I got super excited in a previous podcast, and I was explaining that the overall goal in the next 3 to 5 years is to basically make WWE a money machine, right? The whole thing that we're right now getting purged of, they're purging us of investment, which I'm going to discuss in different podcasts. Investment in the product, right? They're purging us on emotion, and they're purging us on the TV shows. They're purging us on things that we're used to under the previous regime and getting ready for the future. And the future is WWE is probably eventually just going to be all pay-per-view, all online engagement, minimal shows, and just basically like a road show, exactly like UFC. Okay, so we're getting purged in the next 3 to 5 years, and that's where we're gonna go, which is gonna suck for us because I'm like, how do you keep up with that? Because I'm telling you, eventually these motherfuckers is gonna ask us to be dropping $80 for their pay-per-views. Right now, everything's cute or whatever the case may be, but they really want a big investment for their shareholders under the equity firm Silver Lake. And it makes sense because now everybody's digging and they notice that there is a very large debt to be paid. Okay, so when this Silver Lake bought TKO Endeavor, Endeavor's no longer there. It's WMG Management, I believe. When they bought that, they took on all that debt, and that debt has to be consolidated by 2026. So we're gonna see a lot of moving parts. We're gonna be confused. We're gonna be upset and riled up. But I want you to be smart, not emotional. I definitely don't want you to be like, well, that's the business, because I'm poor. I'm not about to sit here and be saying no dumb shit like that. Because when you say shit like that, you lose the things you love. You lose stuff that you're used to. That's why when you go to these fast food restaurants, like for example, McDonald's, Wendy's, Taco Bell, remember how they used to look? Taco Bell literally was a small Mexican like hut, right? McDonald's was bright yellow and orange, and you had the clown, and he had a bench in front with his hand. You could sit there, and it was just like an explosion. Burger King had the kids club, very unique. Right, you go in, you got the big burger at the top. The kids club is like, yeah, you know what I mean. Everything's exciting. There's an urgency. Now everything is monotone. That harsh architecture, right? Yeah, that's by design. That's on purpose. So you can't tell the difference between anything. Even the food don't taste like it used to taste. Wendy's used to be a big red house with the girl with the Wendy's and her ponytails, and it was just like, come eat. Now it's just like, go over there and fuck around and get you some salmonella like goddamn Chipotle. It's all by design. It's all by design. With that being said, let's have a conversation. So I was over there and Reddit, and some of the comments are fascinating. Some of the comments are fascinating. I do think it's sad that Slim Jims. Listen, Slim Jims is an old partner, but the way the previous regime did it was Slim Jim. You gonna do what you do during the commercials, okay? Slap it to a Slim Jim, shim, and then we gonna come back. They got that mat so convoluted that when CM Punk was doing his spiel in the middle of the ring, he literally blended into the mat. which makes things extremely difficult for the audience at home. That is why the mat needs to be a bright white or tan or blue or color that bounces off so we can see things. Having a black mat full of advertisements is probably the worst way to do anything. Cricket Wireless, Fatal Fury, Prime, The Drumsticks, Clash of Castles, Dude Wipes against Slim Jims, right? You know what they don't advertise? Did you ever wonder what they don't advertise to you? Condoms. They advertise liquor. They advertise medication. They advertise gambling. You don't never see advertisements for education, advertisements for condoms. I'm in Ohio, so I get Jesus commercials. Okay. And I get a lot of political ads because these people out here, I don't even know why we get political ads. They done gerrymandered this motherfucker so bad that it would take an act of God to get these motherfucking corrupt ass Republicans up out this state. They got this state looking like a hot double ass mess, child. Anyway, just notice what they don't advertise to you. Okay? Notice what they do advertise. All the shit they advertise will destroy you from the inside out, especially if you eat it in copious amounts. That's not nothing to sneeze at. Also, I told you all that the app, although we think everything is terrible right now, Netflix loves what Raw's doing because Raw is nothing but a vortex of advertisement. Netflix don't give a fuck about what Raw got going on in the WWE. They have bought up all the advertisers, bought up all the slots on Netflix. They're getting their return from that $5 billion. SmackDown, an hour worth of ads, 45 minutes worth of wrestling. Listen, maybe some backstage bullshit. They're getting their return on these investments at the expense of our enjoyment. Okay? Get into it. Let's read some of these comments, shall we? Somebody said TKO vampires that exist only to extract money from the companies they own. They don't care about their staff, talent, or fans as long as the money keeps flowing in. There's no passion, no love for the product. Say what you like about AEW, but you can't deny that it's owned by people who fucking love wrestling. And I'm not even going to hold you there. AEW, right now, they have the AEW logo in the middle of their ring because they're open for business. In the next probably, I say by next year, you're going to see the same advertisements all over AEW's mat and anything else they want. Okay? Please, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Triple H is to blame for roster cuts. He is the CCO. His boss, Nick Khan, along with the board of directors, including Dwayne, makes the decisions on roster cuts. Yes, they do. And if you don't think they do, I don't know what to tell you. He's literally in the chain of command. Not at the tippy top, not in the middle, but he right there in there. Somebody said, I strongly agree Triple H wouldn't be dumb enough to let the likes of R-Truth go or any other recent releases. People need to realize that Triple may be the head of creative and possibly head of talent relations, but he's not the owner and chairman of the board who have the power to veto his decisions. First of all, he is going to do what he's told, but he's also gonna roll and give suggestions. Please don't think Paul Levesque didn't give suggestions on this. Okay, let's just stop. Let's stop right now and let's be real about what we're talking about. Okay, stop it. Okay. Somebody said, wow, this show is making money off of brand deals. Can't believe the WWE has fallen so low as to do paid advertisement on the show. Never happened before. TKO and Triple H. Shaking my head. So again, you always want to have a smart ass that's, smarter than you. Again, when growing up watching wrestling, we had Stack of Two, toys, WWE shop when WWE owned it, right? They used to do a lot of trucking commercials, Saturday morning cartoons, like it was stuff geared toward the demographic. Now you getting medication and all kinds of bullshit that none of this is nothing that you would want. They don't even advertise laundry detergent during the goddamn wrestling show. Just pay attention to what they're advertising. It's almost making me long for the days of Vince McMahon. It's gotten that bad. That being said, I expect nothing will change. Raw tonight, this is old, of course, will be an opening promo for either Seth or his stable or some combination of Jey Uso, Gunther, Logan Paul, Cody Rhodes, and people will cheer for the good guys and boo for the bad guys. Listen, at this point, there is no cheering for the good guys or whatever. It's all blurred. Everything is blurred and smeared. Motherfuckers is there for a good time, not a long time, okay? Cinnamon Toast Crunch match, Doom Dark Ages, the X logo. Ruining means in the process of doing it. Ruining is what TKO has already done. Yes, they are ruining WWE, okay? That somebody says, kind of like the Truman Show when his wife strenuously recommends a brand of hot chocolate to him. Isn't it? Yep, along with The Rock and Triple H, they are ruining WWE. Somebody said, maybe. But remember, they were hot just a few months ago. It's a for-profit business, as always. It's run by people who have shareholders, not wrestling people. This is where they squeeze and see how much they can get. Will it go back to the Vince era management? Perhaps not. So we're stuck with it. It is what it is. You know what? It's not is what it is. Y'all don't have to pay $14,000, $15,000 for tickets. Y'all don't have to buy merchandise that is falsely advertised in the case of Lily, or shirts that the strings and shit's busting loose before you get it. Okay? I understand y'all want to have moments and stuff like that, but don't use your credit cards. Don't use your credit cards to get these tickets. I heard a couple people on different podcasts who was giving their experience with the in-house package experience servicer. This motherfucker's put $30,000 on his credit card. Don't do that. If you ain't got it, you ain't got it. Do not go into debt for this type of stuff. It is too much stuff that you could do that is more affordable and within your means, a couple thousand here or there, to have memories with your family. Don't do that dumb shit. Are you kidding? I was floored when I heard that. You use credit cards and stuff for emergencies, little things here and there. Push come to shove. Pay the rent one time. Go get groceries one time. The trick to credit cards is you have to keep it under 1 to 2% of usage. That's the trick. Unfortunately, I learned that late. But that's the trick, guys. You don't bust your card out for bullshit for these companies. So I do think that the advertising is going to destroy the experience for us at home mostly, and for the goers that actually pay to go. Again, poor people who are, it's a business. You need to avoid those conversations with those type of people, and you need to avoid them, because those are the type of people that if you say, hey, I'm gonna go ask my boss for a raise, they'll be like, well, how much? Just start small. Start like 50 cents. Those are the people that have you fucking poor and broke with them. Those is the haters. Watch out for them. Anybody that's going to defend a fucking billionaire company and the shit they doing, sucking the soul and the life out of the product and the consumer, no. No. So, to wrap this up, is TKO ruining the WWE? Yes. Yes. They are, and that's their job to do it. And that's their job. And when you reach billionaire, millionaire status, ethics, care, values, and standards, they go right out the window. Right out the window. Have I lied to you yet? No, I have not. I'm going to leave it off right here with this. I don't think that it has ruined much. Firings happen every venture. See? The one thing that does bother me is the amount of PLEs. They seem to be taking on UFC's approach, what I told you, where they don't load any cards. They just want more events. I would rather see one PLE every 6 weeks with a stat card than a Saturday night main event every other Saturday. It just sucks. That's another thing. Shrinkflation. It's real. Okay, that's another thing, because they're so focused on the international markets, right? And they're going to be focused on these PLEs. You're going to now have probably about 2 to 3 weeks to make a storyline before the next PLE. And that is really going to dilute and fuck up the whole thing, because everybody's like, what's the storyline? We want compelling stuff. There's not going to be compelling. We're going to give you a little zhuzh, something you can chew on, because we got to get this pay-per-view out. And then you're going to see the pay-per-view. It's going to be a bunch of bullshit, right? And we're going to be right back to square one. So my opinion is, yes, they are chiseling and chipping away at something that we all did love. Damn, I was choking. Y'all get in the comments and tell me what you think.